Before we begin this video, I want to give a huge shout out to The Last Shaman for these amazing art commissions. She did an amazing job. I will provide her links in the description below. I also want to give a small shout out to LStiva76. Though I didn't commission them, I used one of their pieces of art for this video. This design was commissioned by Hoops and Hip Hop, so thank you to him as well. Alright, with that said, let's begin. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet keep getting closer. We are now around 4 months away. Within the past month, we've done regional variants, Eeveelutions, and other concepts for Scarlet and Violet. However, there is still one we have not done yet: new evolutions. With Pokemon Legends Arceus, we got some dope evolutions, from the likes of Wordeer to Overquill. I think it's safe to say, after getting awesome evolutions like those, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet should also deliver. With all the Pokemon that still don't have evolutions, we have a lot of concepts to pick and choose from, and some I think could go very well with the culture and history of Spain. Here to help me cover these top 10 evolutions for Scarlet and Violet is Hoops and Hip Hop. It's been a while, dude.
Yeah man, it's been a hot minute for sure, but I am happy to be here. As Mystic said, we are going to be taking a look at some new evolutions that would be amazing to see in Scarlet and Violet, and that we think would fit perfectly into the region as well. That's pretty much all there is to it though, so with that said, why don't we go ahead and hop right in. So with the region of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet being based on Spain, it obviously has a lot of Latin flavor, and when you think about Latin flavor in Pokemon, Maractus is a Pokemon who definitely comes to mind. And when you think about Maractus, because that's not actually who we're talking about right now, you naturally probably also think of the other cactus Pokemon, Cacnea and Cacturne. It might just be the whole desert vibe they have going on, but these two feel like they could fit very well in Scarlet and Violet's region, to the point where either Cacturne could get a whole nother evolution, or Cacnea could get a regional variant and an alternate evolution. When it comes to what this could be like, and while it is hard to take the cactus out of a cactus, I have a concept in mind that I actually think is pretty cool. This concept would turn Cacnea and its new evolution into a grass fairy type that would be based on a little bit of wordplay. This is because it would primarily be based on a fruit that the prickly pear cactus is known to produce, which is known as a tuna. Additionally, it just so happens that tuna is also the name of a type of musical group that consists of a bunch of university students, and this kind of musical group has its origins in Spain. So this form of Cacnea and its new evolution could be music and food inspired as a bit of a double meaning of the term tuna, and I think that would be a fantastic way to go. We unfortunately don't have art of this concept to share, but it definitely sounds like the kind of thing I would love to see in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Up next is an alternate Evo that has actually been on Hoops' channel before, Metacro. This is an alternate evolution for Spritzy, having the poison and fairy type. This evolution concept actually could make sense due to Aromatis's origin in Kalos. Geographically, Spain is south of France and are both in Europe. The plague was an epidemic all across Europe, and Aromatis's design is based off a flamingo/plague doctor. Metacro is pretty much the same thing, except it looks cooler, and you can see the flamingo aspects of it even more. The poison typing also makes sense for it, rather than just being a straight-up fairy type. The black color scheme of it also goes well with the black robes the plague doctors wore. Exploring the dark sides of Spain's history could be a route to go, and this alternate Evo concept is perfect for the job.
At number 8, we have some Pokemon that are in desperate need of some love. Seel and Dewgong are some of the most boring, bland, plain, and vanilla Pokemon of all time. They are literally based on a Seel and Dewgong respectively, and are named Seel and Dewgong. Their designs are nothing to write home about either, which is why they could definitely use a new evolution in Scarlet and Violet. I feel like Dewgong still has enough room to grow to where it could receive an evolution itself, but also this could be another alternate evolution type of situation for Seel. Conceptually speaking, the thing that always comes to mind for me with these two is, like I said, they're plain, and that is especially true for their designs. With that said, these two are also ice types, and I feel like, since pizzazz is what they need the most, using that ice type to pull the northern lights into these Pokemon's designs would really give them the flair that they need, and not to mention the color, to stand out a little more. And just off of the top of my head, I feel like this could give these Pokemon and their new evolution the Ice Fairy type instead of Water Ice, which is also a pretty cool type combo that could help with that pizzazz factor. I know that Amora and Aurorus from Gen 6 already use the Northern Lights in their designs, but I mean, we have tons of Pokemon that share the same inspirations already, so I think this could work and work well if we were to actually see something similar in Scarlet and Violet.
Up next is a Pokemon I think everyone has wanted for a very long time now. Back in Generation 7, we thought Dunsparce's evolution was going to be Drampa, but unfortunately, that was not the case. And I and other fans were pretty disappointed to say the least. With Scarlet and Violet around the corner though, I can very much see a possibility here. This evolution concept is what would happen to Dunsparce if it became a dragon type. It now has the power of flight with the ability to also burrow underground, which I think could be interesting considering what Hoops said about the desert vibe. I could see a Dunsparce Evo easily being a pseudo-legendary for the region, with dope attacks like Outrage, Dragon Dance, Dragon Tail, Dragon Claw, etc. For an ability, I decided to go with Tough Claws. It's got claws, right? Not to mention, you pair that with Dragon Dance, and this thing's gonna shred. Dunsparce needs justice. Make it the Dragon Pseudo of Scarlet and Violet, and to me, that's enough redemption.
And speaking of Pokemon that need some love, Luvdisc is ironically in need of that more than almost anyone. I never got the hate for this Pokemon myself, but it's plain to see that it's pretty unpopular, and that it could stand to get an evolution. Similar to my Seel concept from before, I feel like an evolution of Luvdisc could gain the Fairy type and become Water Fairy because of the whole love theme, but way more interestingly, it could also go in the opposite direction and become a Dark type that's based on a broken heart. This would not only work perfectly because of being based on the concept of a broken heart itself, but it could also be sort of a tongue-in-cheek reference to how everyone hates on Luvdisc so much, and could actually become a part of its in-game lore, to where the hate that this Pokemon has endured over time
O'Doyle rules!
in this new Spanish-based region caused it to take on this new form and evolve into a new Pokemon that manifested this hatred to become even stronger. If there was ever a way to do a Luvdisc evolution, I think that would probably be the way that you would have to go. And I think it would change a lot of people's tunes on Luvdisc if it actually happened in these new games.
Around a month ago, I did a video about the possible Eevee evolutions that could be in Scarlet and Violet. Well, Eeveelutions are technically evolutions, right? So I figured to start off the other half of the list, I would go ahead and include the 3 Eeveelutions from last month: Brawleon, Toxeon, and Mummion. I could have included a Dragon-type Evo or a Steel-type one, but I feel those ones always get love. Brawleon is your typical physical attacking fighting type with high speed. Toxeon is your typical mixed wall with recovery, and Mummion is a mixed special attacker. These 3 typings are the most interesting to me, and I adore how the designs turned out. If you want to watch the entire video dedicated to the Eeveelutions, I will leave that in the description below.
Earlier, I brought up Maractus when talking about Cacnea, and I would be completely remiss if it wasn't on this list as well, which is why Maractus takes the number 4 spot. Now, as cool of a concept that I believe that we had for Cacnea, Maractus is a cactus Pokemon that deserves the spotlight even more, since it is not only unevolved and very forgettable, but also has actual Latin inspirations, making it a perfect fit for Scarlet and Violet's Spain-based region. This is the design that we have had made for what a Maractus evolution could look like, and it simply develops and expands the Latin and musical inspirations of the Pokemon. While pretty straightforward, this would actually make sense for this Pokemon, as being in the Spain-based region would allow it to grow and flourish the way it already is, due to being such a perfect fit for this part of the world, which ultimately is what allowed it to attain this evolution. It would also retain the pure grass typing for the same reasons, and overall, I think this is something that makes a lot of sense for Maractus, and it's something that it desperately needs, so hopefully it'll get some love in Gen 9.
Starting the top 3 is actually my personal favorite on this list. Smeargle has really only served one purpose: sketching. And obviously, it has a really cute design being based on a painter. I always name mine Bob Ross because he's a great guy. Smeargle desperately needs an evolution though, and Hoops threw me the concept of creating a Smeargle evolution being based around Salvador Dali, was a very renowned surrealist Spanish artist in the 1920s and 30s. He was known for his painting, graphic arts, film, sculpture, design, and photography, and his work is still highly respected even to this day. Smeargle's evolution, being based around this concept, could really capture another side of Spain's artistic history. Perhaps some of its attacks could be based around pieces of work he's done in the past. That way, it wouldn't be stuck just being a sketch gimmick. Pokemon could do this for pretty much any famous artist, but Salvador Dali's art just hits different. It's very unique.
So the last Pokemon that I just mentioned was Maractus in the number 4 slot, and coming in at number 2, we have another Unova Pokemon, and that is Scrafty. Since Scrafty is based on New York-style hoodlums, having a new set of surroundings in a Spain-based region could certainly cause it to change, and potentially evolve again into a brand new Pokemon. Scrafty's design is pretty creative in that it uses the concept of a lizard's shedded skin to mimic the baggy, low-riding pants that many hoodlum-type people will wear. So what if we took that and gave it a whole new purpose in this brand new region? The idea I have is for Scrafty's new evolution to transform from a hoodlum into a bullfighter, and use its shedded skin not as baggy pants, but as the iconic red sheet that bullfighters famously use to entice a bull to charge them. I feel like this is a perfect concept for a Scrafty form/evolution to take because it fits its design so well while also being a fresh take on the concept. It's already a fighting type as well, which works great. It would reflect this Pokemon's new environment, which is what Scrafty's base design was already all about in Unova, and it takes the unique lizard skin concept and gives it a new purpose that translates well, in my opinion. This evolution, if it happened, could probably stay dark fighting if it wanted, but could also potentially gain another type as well instead of dark, just to switch things up. You guys will have to let me know in the comments if you have any further ideas, but overall I think this would be really cool to see in the games, and I personally would love to see it become the real deal.
At number 1, we have a Pokemon I've talked about several times over the past few months since Scarlet and Violet's first trailer. We're obviously going to be in Spain this go-around, and there's already a Pokemon in Generation 7 that is a superstar flamenco dancer, Bioliform Oricorio. Oricorio is a Pokemon that hasn't really received a lot of love, and I feel this could be a perfect opportunity to do so by giving it an evolution. The concept would just be a bigger Oricorio with more accessories and pizzazz. I can imagine it getting some kind of dancing move that hits hard for decent physical fire damage, as well as a fire-type gym leader that is a flamenco dancer themselves. They could be the contest star equivalents of the region, except with dancing. That would be such an amazing concept if that happened. I know Oricorio getting an Evo isn't something that probably not a lot of people want to see. I just think Oricorio's Bile form already has traces of Spain, and an evolution would just help it. As far as the other forms of Oricorio go, they're obviously going to get evolutions too, but they wouldn't be as prominent as the Bile one. Well, those are the top 10 evolutions we want to see in Scarlet and Violet. Each of these Pokemon desperately needs an evolution, and I feel these concepts would help them fit right in with the region based around Spain, especially the likes of the Smeargle Evo and Metacro. Spain has some interesting history no matter which way you look at it, and these concepts could really fit the bill. Anywho though, Hoops and I did a video over on his channel. It's a pretty fun one if I do say so myself.
Yes, we definitely did. Over on my channel, Mystic and I made another video on 5 unseen new Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet that were potentially teased in the 2 previous trailers. These are brand new Pokemon that we have not seen yet, but that we can actually figure out a bit about thanks to some clues in the trailers. It's a fun one, so hop on over with Mystic and I with the link in the description or in the end card, and we will see you there.